From stoic testimony about the murders of her family members to posing for pictures in court and then unexpectedly breaking down and even asking for pain pills while on the stand. Just what does Nomia Rosemary Ndlovu's body language tell us? Is this the behavior of a calculated serial killer or an innocent person fighting for her freedom? Well, to help us analyze Ndlovu's behavior both on the stand and in the dock, we're joined by body language and human behavior expert Tanya Steyn. Tanya, thank you so much for joining us. I used to be a court reporter and I would sit and watch people in the dock for hours, and there's always a certain vulnerability that they have, even if they've done something quite heinous. With Nomia Ndlovu, she seems quite laissez-faire at times. While she is listening to evidence and testifying. It's interesting. She doesn't seem particularly humiliated or vulnerable to me.
Not at all. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Not at all. She has a very grandiose personality. She's not at all worried. She sort of seems like she's way smarter than everyone in the courtroom. You know, when you become a body language expert, one of the things that comes hand in hand with that is human lie detection. And she's displaying so many red flags. It becomes high definition when you look at people like that. And her body language reveals so many clues that she's, lip pursing, for example. She's pursing her lips, pursing them all the time. It's withholding the truth. Blocking her eyes is a blocking behavior. She's constantly closing her eyes when she speaks. There's so many red flags that's going up. You know, for example, the breaking down. When we look at an emotion of sadness, sadness is the hardest micro-expression to fake. And she did, for a couple of seconds, she showed real emotion of sadness. Could be for herself. It could be towards Maurice, that's passed away, but she craves attention. Once she realized the attention was on her, the sadness turned into fake sadness, and she milked that situation. It's the same with the first day of the posing for the photos. She realized she was getting attention, and she just milked it. She posed with hands on the hips. Now, hands on the hips is quite a powerful pose, you know, hands, fingers in the air. She was actually milking the situation. She loves the attention, even if it is negative attention. So with the day of breaking down, she really did, you know, I'm fortunate enough to be able to slow down the scene and watch her in slow motion. You can clearly see there is no sadness. She's really faking the sadness. I mean, her partner's almost passed away now, is it almost 6 years? That sadness she's displaying is really not on par with normal human behavior. So, you know, there's a lot of red flags that I can actually talk on a lot. There's quite a lot. Normally when I teach workshops, I tell people to look for not just one cue, you have to look for 3 and more cues. Normally I was displaying quite a few. You know, so she's definitely withholding the truth.
Tanya, yes, just an element of defiance is one of the sort of certain behaviors that she seemed to display, and we'll see today whether she's going to have recovered from her chest pains. But it'd be lovely to get in touch with you and just stay in touch with you throughout this trial, because what the body language says is so much of what's going on internally. That was human behavior and body expert Tanya Steyn. Thank you for joining us.